we've still got some daylight left, so let's just take a quick look around town before we head to the inn. That looks like an inn right there. Let's see, it's the... I cannot read that from here. The Moorside Inn. Good. And there's the mill. What? Oh. One of these noisy, glowy plants again. I think I'm just gonna keep picking those just for the relief of stopping the noise that they make. Huh. Let's see. Looks like an alchemy shop. Might stop by there later. We'll probably visit the Jarl tomorrow. And then, what do we have here? Houses. More houses. Ah, a blacksmith. Good, good.
Greetings.
Ah, hello. Are you the local blacksmith then?
Yes, sirrah. I own the curved sword. I know it doesn't look like much, but in time it will be the finest specialty shop in all of Skyrim.
Specialty shop? What do you mean by that?
You heard right, sirrah. The idea is to make this the only place in Skyrim that specializes in quality swords and armor native to Hammerfell.
Ah, I see.
Unfortunately, it's been hard to get equipment shipped here to Morthal, even with the East Empire Company a stone's throw away.
I'll just leave it at that.
So, as of now, I can only sell what I can craft with the limited equipment I have here.
So... I was kind of under the impression that a good craftsman never blames his tools.
If that were the case, I could trade my hammer for a club and smelt iron with a stove. Oh no, I'm afraid you are mistaken, sirrah.
Good point.
Tools matter every bit as the man.
My mistake then.
These are suspicious times, sirrah, and caution isn't necessarily a weakness. It seems, however, that many in this land are cautious to trust but hasty to judge. Make sure you don't make the same mistake.
I will try not to. So, how's business?
Benner came by the other day asking if I made those curved Akaviri weapons. The ignorance of these brutes continues to astound me. He probably saw my desert garb and assumed I was a Khajiit.
That honestly wouldn't surprise me. Well, let's take a look at what you have for sale.
Authentic goods crafted by a blacksmith of Hammerfell.
Actually, right now I'm not as interested in buying as I am in selling. Let's see, what do I have? I can get rid of these arrows. And this dagger. Keeping the mace. Then that heavy armor. These really, if I'm going to be honest, aren't going to do me much good, so I'll get rid of these. Oh, except that you're out of gold. Never mind then. But I will sell these. And that's that. Thank you.
Until next time.
Indeed. So he has... Arander, what are you doing? He has a workbench and a, what is the name of that thing? I know the name of that thing. A grindstone. So maybe I can improve the fit on that new armor I made. Now I left it on Bara, so I'm gonna go grab that. and come back and see what I've got. Okay. Do I have any leather? Because I believe I need leather for this. Maybe... Did I need moonstone? Leather. I'll just take... I don't think I need that much. But better to have too much than not enough. I wonder if that's the barracks then, with all those guards standing around. Evening. All right.
I don't know what persuaded you to assist me when we met in Dawnstar, but I'm glad you did.
I can't resist helping a priest in need, Erander. So I guess this is the most important thing to improve. And then... the helmet. And then... probably the bracers. But I'm out of moonstone, so I'll have to wait before I improve the boots. Alright. So... I guess tomorrow I'll be wearing new armor. Come on, Erander, let's go check out the inn before it gets dark. I really do hope that I have Mara's protection. I could use the protection of all the divines. This is Deathbell, isn't it? It's poisonous. That could come in handy if I want to maybe try poisoning my weapons. Come on, Erander.
Finally, someone comes in. Kick off your boots, stay a while. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. I got nothing but time these days.
Excuse me. Thank you for the welcome.
Welcome to the Moorside. If you need anything, I'll be around. Good to have a customer.
So... is business in Morthal slow?
Slow? No, it just ain't there at all. Few enough reasons to pass through Morthal before the war started. Now, well, let's just say the front door doesn't get much use.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well... I happen to be a traveling bard. I was wondering if you would like me to perform here tonight. Alright, thank you for the opportunity. So, any news or rumors floating about?
Here, take a look at this.
Okay. I'll take a look a little bit. Later, I mean. So, I heard something about this burned down house. What's the story there?
Hrogar's house? It burned down not too long ago. It's a real pity about his wife and kid. The screams woke half the town.
Divines.
Most folk won't go near it now for fear it's cursed.
How did the fire start?
Hrogar claims it was a hearth fire. Some folks say Hrogar started it himself.
Himself? With his own wife and child inside?
That's what they say. See, he's living with Alva now. That started the day after the fire. It ain't right moving in with a new love the day after your kin die like that.
Well, grief can do funny things, I suppose, but that does seem awfully suspicious. I suppose, of course, that they can't prove he started the fire.
Aye. Our Jarl would sure like to know if he did, though. Might even pay to find out.
I'm not sure if that's something I really want to get involved in. Seems like bad business. Well, thank you. I'll go ahead and play a song or two and check back in with you later.
Good day.
All right. Well, it seems like she at least has a few customers. It's not that empty. Which means that I will have a bit of an audience. What do I want to play today? I'm thinking I'd like to maybe play one of the songs that Rumarin taught me. How about... Wait, before I do this, let's take off my backpack and my helmet and gloves. And is there anything else that I want to take off? No. But I do want to have my loot actually on hand before I start playing. Oh. And the shield is definitely not useful for playing the lute. Alright. I'm thinking this one.
Oh, Gorman.
Buy you a drink?
Not right now. Anything new?
Still the same. Something's got to be done.
When the time is right, friend, we're sure.
Oh, wait, worse it gets.
Let's talk about it some other time.
I've been enjoying this journey with you. Not for the wealth we've accumulated, but just being able to carry Mara's will to every corner of Skyrim.
Ah, thank you. Well, Jonah,
There ain't much to offer, but if you want a place dry to spend the night, I'll rent you a room.
well, I think I'm done playing music for the night. I hope you liked the song. Thank you.
I'll show you to your room, right this way.
Ah,
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
will do.
Buy you a drink?
Not right now. Anything new?
Hello.
Still the same.
What you want, stranger?
Something's got to be done.
I have a date with the marsh and the chorus that calls it home.
Chorus?
Worse it gets.
Let's talk about it some other time.
Well, I thought I'd say hello before you could become Chorus Chow, I suppose.
Ha! Don't worry. I'll make sure your cousin gets plenty of exercise before he chews my leg off.
Oh, ha ha. Well, you're a bold one. Can I get your name by any chance?
Ha! Then let me make sure you carve it correctly. I apologize for giving you such a hard time, but you adventurers make such easy targets.
No, you're mistaken. I'm a bard.
Greetings, brave traveler. My clan once knew me as Anam La. The fighters I stand beside, however, call me the Swamp Knight.
The Swamp Knight. how did you get the name Swamp Knight?
Well, it's a short story. I carry a sword. I'm from the swamps of Black Marsh. Do you need me to continue, or can you piece it together from here?
No, I think I get the point. But there's gotta be more to it than just being Argonian.
You're a clever one. Saw right through my glib response. All right, I'll tell you. But it's a long story. So you might want to sit down for this one.
I think you've got the only chair in the room. But go ahead. I always like to hear a new story.
I was hatched in a small tribal village, lost in the swamps between Thorn and Hellstrom. In other words, in the middle of nowhere. As the hatchling of a small and pitiful clan, I couldn't afford to travel to the city and train under the guidance of the tribal guard.
So, I understand that most travel is done by boat in Black Marsh?
Right you are. But few boats stopped by my village.
You said you were born in a tribal village, but it couldn't have been that isolated, could it?
There were visitors. In fact, every few years, a recruiter from the city would come to the village and conscript those in the clan who showed promise. Only a handful of hatchlings were chosen. All of them were males. Males I bested in combat 100 times over.
Ah, of
Figured
course.
the only way I'd be a soldier was to train on my own. So, one night, I went out into the deepest swamps with nothing but a hist branch.
A hist branch? What happened in the swamp then?
I committed myself to killing a feather serpent. On the second night, I thought I'd vanquish 3. By the first hour, my only goal was to survive.
Ah, not as easy as you
Somehow,
thought.
I managed. I labored through the bog and hid inside a hollowed-out tree. I waited and watched for predators. And as I watched, I learned.
What did you see?
I saw how the serpent camouflaged itself in the foliage. How the Leviathan waded effortlessly through the swamp, simply by refusing all effort. I saw how on bright days, the lizard used the Hackwing's own shadow to scuttle around unseen, and how on dark days, all creatures clung to the mist.
I see.
By the time I was grown, I could slay 5 feathered serpents with a single slash and do it with my eyes closed.
Huh. So you explained why you got the name Swamp Knight, but not how. Who gave you that name?
True enough, the name came when I joined a company of fighters, many of whom were celebrated warriors from all over Tamriel. There were members who served as honor guards for tribal chieftains, and those who trained under guild masters and various regiments of the Empire. There were even retired assassins from the renowned Shadow Scales of legend.
Really?
None knew of who I was, or why I was recruited to join the company.
So how come?
The truth was, I was never supposed to be there. I had found the invitation on a courier while traveling west toward Gideon.
I always felt a great deal of guilt running through my
Undaunted, I told them the story of how I trained to become a knight. I used that exact word. In truth, I'd only heard the word knight in passing. But when travelers from strange lands used the term, their words spoke with a tone heavy with reverence. That's how I wanted them to speak about me.
I see.
Naturally, the company laughed uproariously at my expense. They dubbed me the Swamp Knight, and I've been that ever since.
Ah, so that's what it was. It's strange then that no one questioned your involvement.
Oh, they did. but Dalum A assured them I was on the up and up. He was our leader and the one who assembled the crew. I never asked him why. Maybe he was just curious. Maybe he ascribed it to fate. Maybe he thought he could make a wife out of me. That poor fool never had a chance.
So, what brought you to Skyrim then?
That's an old story. Back when the Hrothgar monks had milk in their beards from sucking their mother's teats. Okay, maybe not that old, but old. I was traveling in Black Marsh with a company of fighters. We fashioned ourselves the Honorable Eight.
It's a good name. What was the company's makeup?
We were an elite band of fighters, hired to do jobs common sellswords weren't equipped for. At first, I thought the honorable part was a joke. Our company was made up of liars, drunkards, and lying drunkards. But they were all loyal. And they were all honorable. They were good beasts, mare and men.
Yeah, I find white lies and drunken confessions to be in the spirit of honor.
That may be true, but even knowing your intentions were good is not enough to absolve. Knowing won't rid you of the shame.
So it sounds like something happened, like your company was, what, tricked into making a bad choice?
We were, and we did.
Oh. And what was this bad choice that your company made? Is it what caused you to split up?
The job was simple. Clear out a cave of necromancers that were terrorizing one of the clans that resided near the border. The clan said a hatchling had gone missing, and rumors were abound of corpses stolen for experiments, and live bodies turned into corpses.
Well, that's a gruesome business. And what did you find in the cave? Not what you were expecting?
When we got there, the shadow scale Ula Wayne scouted ahead as the rest of us waited near the entrance. He found bear traps and tripwires. The occupants were further in, he said. Black robe mages, chanting. The whole thing stunk like a Thalmor's wet diaper.
That's a metaphor.
Traps or no, bandits usually post sentries in and outside the cave.
True.
The Lord, Arnwolf, though, he got tired of all the standing around. Black robes and ominous words. Good enough for him. Dalum A gave the nod. Couldn't chance it. Some poor hatchling could have been on a table, about to become some sick bastard's war puppet.
And did you rescue the child?
Sadly, no. The child was on the table, like Ula Wei said. But she was already dead. The people around her were mourners. Black robes.
Oh.
They were refugees from Cyrodiil, Altmer, Kadjit, and Argonian. Driven from Leaween. To the clans, they might as well have been wraiths. I don't know who struck first. It didn't matter. We killed them all.
Oh, God.
All except one.
Who was it?
It was an Imperial boy, hiding in a small crevice in the rock. I didn't know who he was, or if he was even with the refugees. The boy was a mute. Part of me thought it would be better to slay him, but another part of me saw the hatchling in the swamp, just trying to survive till morning. The company disbanded. Honor brought us together, and dishonor drove us apart. Me and the healer, Elia, went north. The boy, he followed.
I see.
We split up in Bravo. Don't know why he chose me. Seems to me he was better off with a Breton. But as I kept going north, he never left my side.
Well, the boy probably wanted a mother, I suppose.
Ha! I don't think Elia would have wanted him around either. Males grow squeamish at the mere talk of children, let alone the sight of one.
I don't know about that. Well, what happened to him then? I see you don't seem to be traveling with him anymore.
I kept going north, figuring at some point the boy would stop following me. Gotta give it to the little runt. He had courage. Eventually, I realized I could have walked right into the sea of ghosts, and the little Histcarp would have dove right in.
So, how did the two of you part ways then?
I was halfway through the marsh when I decided to head back to Morthal. I turned to the pesky urchin and told him, "All right, you win." Imagine my surprise when I found myself talking to a patch of death bells. There was no one there.
What?
Some may ask why I'm a knight without armor. Others contend I wear the Mourners' clothes to honor the brave warriors I slay. Those in my company will tell you I wear it to mourn the refugees who died that day, and all the innocents who die in the pangs of war. I will tell you that there's only one thing in this world I truly mourn. My sanity.
Okay. Well, that was a strange story. Well, I think I'm going to bid you good night. But it was certainly an interesting talk. Huh. I think it's about time to get some dinner and some sleep. Let's see. Well, can never go wrong with charred meat. Ugh. Getting a bit tired of that. And some water. I don't have a lot of that left. I'd better get it refilled in the morning. It was nice meeting you, Anumla, but this is my room. Go on. Are you just gonna stand? Okay, okay. You know, people in Skyrim don't seem to understand the concept of, you know, privacy and not being stared at while you sleep. Come to think of it, dogs don't seem to understand that concept either, do they? Good night, Garm. Good night, Arander.